before working together, how long had you been in a career search? I know I just talked to Hattie, and she, hers was, hey, I just started and I didn't really know what to do. So, had you already been looking for a while?
No, that's really where I was. I had just started. I left my last position December 1st, wanted to take sort of the holidays off, and beginning of January is when really I said to myself that I would start looking. And then that's when I think I connected with you all through the network on Facebook and saw the the invitation to the live event. And that's at that point, that's what I decided, hey, I'm going to start at that point. So I had just started.
But so what prompted you to say, hey, I think I need help with this? Was there one aspect of
for me
everything, or was it a couple things?
Having worked for, the better part of 40 years of my life, I never really had to do a job search.
Yeah.
I graduated from Notre Dame on a Navy scholarship, so went right into the Navy. And then when I decided to resign my commission twice, actually, I resigned my commission. I went through military recruiters that set up job fairs and connected us with employers. And then when I decided to leave Ford, it was just a connection I had with someone who had interviewed with Intel, and that went really smoothly. And then when I decided to retire from Intel, this company Everspin actually reached out to me. It turned out to be what worked out. In retrospect, obviously I only stayed there a year and a half. It wasn't the best fit, and I probably just in the excitement of, I'm going to have a job, and not really looking at the company and looking at the role and whether or not it was going to be a good fit, which is why I wanted to this time really take some time to think things out. And I think one of the things that really helped me right from the onset of joining your program is getting in the right mindset, and then coming up with that, writing down, which I hadn't done in years, what is my ideal situation? What am I really looking for? And like I told you, when I got my offer, that was the first thing I did, is I picked up that piece of paper that I actually wrote it all down, and I went through, and hey, it pretty much hits all the marks that I was looking for. So it made it easy.
A lot of people, when they start this job search, they go to, hey, what's available online, and try to fit themselves into that. And I believe you got your opportunity because of our automated system connecting you with a position that wasn't even available. Was that correct? Or was it something else?
No, this was something else. This one actually was an online application. What happened was I went to the live event, and I learned a lot. I wasn't still sure if I was going to enroll, but I learned a lot. And it was the first I'd ever heard of ATS, this applicant tracking system, and what happens when you apply online. The next day, which was a day before my meeting with Derek, I just happened to see on LinkedIn this role available, and I said, well, I think my resume looks pretty good, but let me make some tweaks. And I put some words that in there in the professional summary, especially that I thought that they might be looking for. And that's why I think it was because of that. And what I had learned at the live session that, I got through that first screen.
How'd you feel about those upcoming interviews?
Well, I think that was what was great about your program. You've got, it's a process, but because you're sort of modular, we were able to, within the first few days, I think we were still in the process of working my resume in LinkedIn, which you all did in like 2 days. So it was really fast. So that was advantageous. But we were able to sort of kind of hyperspace me or hyperlink me to that section 5 and go right into sort of the interview prep. So, that really helped, especially with that first screening with the internal recruiter after I had my one-on-one session with Megan. And so went through which I had never, after working 40 years, I've always heard about elevator pitches. I taught about elevator pitches, but I never really had. And, I think I had mentioned to you all, within the first 10 minutes, because I had been able to do that pitch, the guy just stopped and said, "You're going on."
Mm-hmm. And I
And
do know,
I think it was because of what I've learned.
and that whole controlling the process, which we talk about all the time, which is there's so many pitfalls, because you're going to meet with this person and it didn't work out. And now what do we do? And I remember going through all of that as well. So what did you find most valuable about working together? Some people say it was the group session. Some people say it was the salary negotiation. And I do know you got, like a little more RSUs, a little bit more of a bonus. Or some people say, what was it for you? What did you find most valuable?
I think for me, it really was the daily or twice daily, really, coaching calls.
Mm-hmm.
Because it kept me going. It kept me doing things and kept me active. And
Mm-hmm.
I finally made the decision after I signed the official letter,
Mm-hmm.
and I decided, okay, I'm going to stop. I couldn't believe how much time I had on my hands. I'm like,
Yeah.
it really is a full-time job for a job.
Yeah.
And that was probably it kept me going, plus listening to what others were going through and
Mm-hmm.
picking up sort of tips that way, and that sort of knowing that I'm not alone. I think I mentioned that at my last group call.
It's a lot of work because through automation and reaching out and leveraging networks, well, when calls come, you got to prepare for them. And people don't think about that. It's like, not only do you have to generate them, but prepare for them, and then prepare for the second one. And then this one's going on, So what advice would you have someone who's considered, working with us? Maybe they're just starting and they're not sure, or maybe they've been in their search for a while.
I would say, do not cut yourself short, and you need to invest in yourself. And was, the initial call I had with Derek, he helped me understand that. Because it's an investment, and your program is proven, and I believe I got my return on my investment. But I think people just need to not turn down something because they don't need help. And I know a lot of us who have been working for 20 plus years think that, oh, I can do this, I can just jump right in, I know what I'm doing. You get out of practice. If you haven't looked for a job in over 20 years, you get out of practice. And it's a little different, just like 20 years ago, if you told me you need to take control of the interview, I would never have believed you, right? It's like, oh, interview, it's certain questions that I know they have to get through, and then they'll give me an opportunity to ask a couple of questions at the end, but it doesn't work that way.